So the formula today, after last week, I felt it was really important that I just bring in a bit of the presentation, the compensation plan energy into mine and Fabian's call today. So for just about 10 minutes, I'm going to run through some of the first slides of the presentation. But as always with me and Fabian, we're not going to do what most of the people are doing, which is incredible what they're doing, which is going through the whole presentation and allowing you to know all the gears of the company. What we're doing, me and Fabian, are kind of trying to just talk about from a more holistic perspective, what's happening here in the greatest shift of wealth in a generation. So that being said, like I'm going to do about half of this presentation, and I really do want everyone. This is going to be recorded. It's going to go on YouTube. I want everyone to know that under the link, I will have links to other presentations, so you can watch them in their fullness. But as you know, with me and Fabian, we kind of do our thing our own way, and it's working. I just want to say congratulations to Fabian for soaring right now on We Are All Satoshi. I don't know if anyone saw what I posted or on Instagram. We're talking about crazy levels he's reaching. And no wonder he's ringing me every morning going, fam, are you on this? Are you really on this? Are you recognizing what's happening? And what's happening here is that we are buying and holding Bitcoin. And I'm starting to understand myself how important Bitcoin is. Bitcoin truly is the asset of the future. It's the asset that is indestructible, and it is the asset that can't be tarnished or broken or owned by anyone. Governments can't own it. They can only purchase it like we are. And the more I'm realizing who Sam Lee is, every single day, I'm trying to take this serious, and I can see people on the call right now that are already invested in this in this opportunity. I can't recommend enough. Make sure you're watching at least one presentation a day. Every single day, there's something new that I'm learning. People want to ask questions like, what happens after the 500 days? You're getting these answered. What happens? How comes we're purchasing Bitcoin cheaper than the market? These questions are all being answered all the time, and it's making me realize I need to take this more serious. Things are really changing so much. And I can see people like Vic, for instance. You're an absolute warrior. You're creating the new earth for you and your children and your family. But being financially free is one of the most important parts of that. We can all be off grid, but who's going to own the land? It can't be Babylon. We need to own this land. That's the plan, I remember once when I was protesting a lot in 2020, one of my kind of male mentors in Thailand, he said, Indigo, instead of being the person that's screaming to take your rights back, be the person that owns the land. Instead of being the person that chains yourself to the tree, be the person that owns all the trees. And it was just a shift that kind of is what's led me into this moment now in my life. I've gone through many different things in my life, but right now I'm recognizing I need to put a lot of my attention on, for me personally, on breaking out of this dark, satanic, old financial system, which is controlling me and my family. If I don't do this right now, as the head of the family, as the man of my family, my mum's going to die fundamentally, because she will have to do everything that the system says or die. It's literally that point. Take this medicine or don't get your money. Don't get your digital coin. People don't think that this is serious. I keep saying it every week. It's happened in Nigeria and it's happened in multiple countries. They've literally raped the country now. But most people don't realize, as a Buddhist, it hits me so deep because I recognize we are all inseparable. So the sufferings of my African brothers, I realize, thank you for the warning, because it's coming here. It's coming here fast. So that's the reason I wholeheartedly stand behind Sam Lee, stable down. We are all Satoshi. I'll tell you, I know about 10% of this. I'm learning as I do these every single day with you, but I can feel it in my soul. I feel it when Sam Lee talks. I feel it when Fabian talks. I feel it when I'm speaking right now. I can feel the spirits telling me this is finally a platform for ordinary people. We've been involved in a few platforms, people here on this call right now with me, and they've all served their purpose, and they're all still here, and they're all amazing, but this is the one. And so that being said, let me present this for about 5-10 minutes, and then I'm going to pass it on to Fabian, and he's going to speak and do his thing. So give me 1 second. I'm going to need to share my screen. So We Are All Satoshi compensation plan. Securing liquidity, ensuring sustainability, with We Are All Satoshi, backed by proof of reserve. And guys, I really need you to remember these words, POR, proof of reserve. It's something that is truly trailblazing. It's the precipice. It's the vanguard of change, proof of reserve. It's going to be the thing that gains so much trust. A lot of us have been in different companies before in the past where we put in money and it's gone. Proof of reserve is something that is so, I believe, new age in the best way. For this new age that we are creating, proof of reserve is something that is going to be spoken about for many years to come. And it's Sam Lee, thank you so much for bringing this information and this technology and this security and trust to us as we are giving our money over to situations like We Are All Satoshi. So anyone that wants this presentation, by the way, DM me. My Telegram is IndigoChild, IndigoChild, and I can send you this presentation. You can look at the financial review. Understand who Sam Lee is. Understand that this multi-billionaire does not need to be doing this, but yet he's so powerful. He was involved in saving Bitcoin in, I believe, 2013. In Australia, there's been laws that have been created because of this man and his influence. And he's, I believe, one up to Fabian, and I'm one below Fabian. So this team is potent. This team is potent. I still don't understand how potent this is, why I'm taking it more serious. And every day I'm trying to watch at least 2-3 presentations so I can understand how deep this is, because we're literally learning about a whole new vibrational concept. This isn't just a business I'm talking to you about here. Babylon's falling, and simultaneously, we're building a new mansion on top of it. There's a lot going on. There's a lot. And we're also trying to make sure that we're not giving fluoride to our children and we're not eating, like, it's a lot. So one step at a time. So We Are All Satoshi. There's 3 main products. I'm going to explain them real quick. There's the Satoshi Wallet, Satoshi DX, and Satoshi EX. So the Satoshi Wallet. We Are All Satoshi is a cutting-edge blockchain technology company that offers a range of products designed to make cryptocurrency trading and management easier and more convenient for users. And that's exactly what we need. How overwhelming is it? How many of you got a friend that made like 100,000 and he's talking about metaverse and he's trading and pips and candlesticks, and you're like, I don't understand. I'm like a right brain person. I just want to be hugging trees barefoot. Let me read this one more time so you can understand why this is so important. Why someone like Michelle, who's from a different generation to me, is blowing me away with the way that she's working with exchanges and these different companies. Anyone from any different age group can start to understand the blockchain through something like this. So one more time, We Are All Satoshi is a cutting-edge blockchain technology company that offers a range of products designed to make a cryptocurrency trading and management easier and more convenient for users. Their flagship product, the Satoshi Wallet, is a decentralized wallet that supports multiple blockchains, including BTC, ERC20, BEP20, Polygon, Avalanche, Solana, and many more. Product 2, Satoshi DX, a decentralized middleware aggregator that operates on the Ethereum BSC blockchains. It is offered by We Are All Satoshi as another exciting product. The best swap prices across various DEXs are provided by Satoshi DX, making it an essential tool for traders looking to maximize their profits. The best possible price is always ensured when swapping their cryptocurrencies by users, as liquidity across multiple decentralized exchanges is aggregated by Satoshi DX. Now, if I'm starting to lose you, you're starting to think I'm not true, stay with me. Just expand your heart and just stay with me and keep listening. This is the final product. Finally, Satoshi EX is offered by We Are All Satoshi for those, and this is for those only, who are seeking a licensed, regulated, centralized exchange. A range of Bitcoin and altcoin crypto trading pairs with deep liquidity order books are offered by this platform, making it an ideal choice for traders who are looking for a reliable and secure way to buy and sell cryptocurrencies. The tools you need to succeed in the world of blockchain technologies are provided by We Are All Satoshi, whether you are a seasoned trader or just starting with crypto. Now, guys, proof of reserve. I'm going to show you 2 things here, and I need you to listen. This is the most important thing. And if you've been on these calls with us weekly, you'll start to understand why this is unique and why this is secure and why this is the company you want to be working with. And I'll tell you why. So, introducing the whole horizon, proof of reserve. The method of proof of reserve, POR, is used by cryptocurrency exchanges and other financial institutions to demonstrate that the necessary assets to back the funds they have in their custody are held. It is a critical component of trust and transparency building within the cryptocurrency industry, as it ensures that customers' assets are secure and accounted for. Now, that being said, let me just show you something quickly. So this is the proof of reserve. I just want to read this to you. The future of auditing digital assets, proof of reserve. The future of auditing digital assets. That's why we've been stung in the past. That's why Babylon have got away with so many things in the past. If only there was a proof of reserve with Barclays Banks and Halifax and Lloyds. If only there was a proof of reserve with all these different blockchain products that have come and gone in the last few years, we would not be in the situation that many of us have found ourselves in. The future of auditing digital assets, proof of reserve. Listen to this. Proof of reserve has become a hot topic following the collapse of FTX, and investors are now demanding that exchanges provide attestations to verify their crypto holdings. This refers to a method of ensuring that a trading platform or crypto firm has one-to-one backing for the digital assets they hold in custody for their customers. Third-party organizations are often used to conduct the attestation and publish the results, providing transparency and ensuring that the custodian is sufficiently liquid and solvent. In the traditional finance world, reserves are profits set aside for unforeseen circumstances. In contrast, proof of reserves in the crypto space involves an independent audit conducted by a third party to confirm that the entity being audited has enough reserves to support all of its depositors' balance. This is the critical step in the regulatory process of digital assets serving service providers, and it ensures transparency and customers' trust. Transparency and customer trust. Now, before I pass it on to Fabian, I want to show you one more thing. And it's just some of the basic information that we all know that sitting here wondering, how do I even get involved? And it's as simple as this. The basic subscription, the minimum that you can come in with is $100, okay? But you also have the opportunity, and you do not need to do this. This can be a passive opportunity for you. But if you're ready, if you're willing, if you've got someone you can just share, someone you can just say, come to this presentation and learn with an open heart. I'm not trying to sell anything to anyone. I'm trying to find the people that resonate and understand what we've got here. You can become a premium member by having 2 people under you, a left and a right. And I just wanted to show you quickly the actual packages that you can come in. I've got a majority of my family is struggling on welfare and have no money at all, but they can still scrape together the $100 or the $300. I know that for sure. Because when you recognize what's happening here, you will not spend the money on something else. I promise you, when you fully understand how powerful this is. And then it goes all the way up to the multiverse level at 204,000. And I know for a fact, I've got some of my strong model friends from back in the days, that's nothing to them. And I can't wait to speak to them as well and tell them this is an opportunity for you. So I'm going to leave it at that. That being said, Fabian, let me know if you're here, you're about, you're alive. Let me just, I might need to unmute him. Michelle just said it's a good idea to even operate as a gift to others. It's exactly that. I was on a few live calls recently with Sam Lee and some of the different leaders, and they was literally just dishing out packages to people. You know, I was in a company just before this, and this is the thing. When you start to make this money and it starts to roll, my first desire is, how can I just share this with people? How can I help ordinary people? And that's why I'm here, and that's why I'm involved. This isn't why would Sam Lee, a multi-billionaire, be trying to make money in this situation? When you really understand it, you recognize he's got deeper intentions. I was just watching a Zoom with him just now. He was sitting on the floor outside a Chinese restaurant in Nigeria. This is someone who's got silly billions of pounds. And that's why I'm so enthusiastic to be with him in this team. Let me see where Fabian is. 1 second, guys.
Okay. I'm sorry about that. Speaking with the guys that create the platform. Took a call from Chavez and Gobi. Chavez is the guy who actually runs the platform. He inputs all the details into it and makes sure everything's working for us nicely. So what we're speaking about, although I've just been explaining some really sort of off-world stuff, is actually a really tight-knit community, a really tight-knit thing, right? So we're at the forefront of it. So the guy that creates the technology, he actually goes into governments and is able to educate them upon this technology, upon this innovative technology. So we're right at the very forefront of things, right? And I was just going to briefly cover some of the things that take place in the UN meetings So the UN meetings, when these meetings take place, yeah, the authors themselves, they take what we call minutes, and most people are actually unaware of this. So when they speak, a guy called Antonio Guterres, when they speak, it's everything that they speak about. It's documented, but we don't know about it. So I'm going to be reading something from one of the recent UN papers that was put out. So what I'll do is I'll just share my screen a minute, just to give an idea. All right, so you should be able to see my screen. This loads up. If it does, it's not loading up. Oh, here we go. Okay. So what you can see here, right, is from the UN, United Nations. So this is it's our Common Agenda Policy Brief 5, a Global Digital Compact, right? So it's terminology, Global Digital Compact, right? That's a Global Digital Compact is what they're wanting to create, right? And what that is, it's making sure that everybody, they've got these divides, right? And there's divides where in some countries, because of the Hunger Games scenario that I speak about, they're in some countries, in some places where people don't use the internet like people do in other parts of the world, massive gaps, right? So over the past so many years, what they wanted to do is to actually close those gaps off to make sure that everybody is operating in the digital world, right? And so some of the things that I speak about and raise awareness of, we will find them within this document. I think what I'm going to end up doing is reading through this over various calls. But just to give you an idea, it's like it says it outlines the areas. So I'll just go from here. It says it outlines the areas in which the need for multi-stakeholder digital cooperation is urgent, and sets out how a global digital compact can help to realise the commitment in the Declaration of the 70th of the United Nations. Basically, what that's speaking about is the agenda, that the global agenda that's going to be taking place as we move towards 2030 to make everything sustainable. So it goes on to say, such a framework is essential for the multi-stakeholder action required to overcome digital data and innovation divides and to achieve the governance required for a sustainable digital future. A sustainable digital future. So this is coming from the horse's mouth. It's coming directly from the UN, right? So what are we speaking about? We're speaking about digital innovation. So it says our digital world is one of divides. In 2002, when governments first recognized the challenge of the digital divide, 1 billion people had access to the internet. Today, 5.3 billion people are digitally connected, yet the divides persist across regions. Even though that is the case, the divide still persists across gender, income, language, age group, etc. Right. Some 89% of people in Europe are online, but only 21% of women in low-income countries use the internet. Right. While digitally deliverable services now account for almost 2/3 of global service trades, etc. So their aim, the cost of the smartphone, and then the cost of phones, etc., causes a problem. So what they're constantly looking to do is to build what is called a digital compact, right? But where we come into play is here. It says about here, it says the innovation divide is even more stark. Digital technologies have moved beyond the internet and mobile devices into autonomous intelligence systems and networks. Generative artificial intelligence, AI, virtual and mixed reality, distributed ledger technologies such as blockchain, digital currencies, and quantum technologies, right? The wealth generated by these innovations is highly unequal and dominated by a handful of big platforms and states, right? So what's actually happening is this. These forms of technology that you are looking at right now, are so powerful that they actually change the landscape of how things actually work and operate. So what they have to do, what they have been trying to do, is to curb and control everything to do with them, how you perceive them, and everything else. So it then goes on to say, but it will say initially about this wealth divide that's actually growing, and its inequality is rising. It says, enormous investments in technology have not been accompanied by spending on public education and infrastructure. Digital technology has led to massive gains in productivity and value, but these benefits are not resulting in shared prosperity. The wealth of those in the top 1%, so they recognize the wealth of those in the top 1%. This is the UN, by the way. The wealth of those in the top 1% is growing exponentially. Between 95 and 2021, they account for 38% of the increase in global wealth, while the bottom 50% account for 2%, right? It then goes on to say, right, digital technologies are accelerating the concentration of economic power in an even smaller group of elites and companies. The combined wealth of technology billionaires, 2.1 trillion in 2022. There's the whole reason for me telling you this. The reason that I'm telling you this is because, right, so like I was just explaining, the guys that create this platform, I was just on the phone to them right now, right? And the guy that actually, who's behind all of this, is a multi-billionaire in that club that they're speaking about right now, right? And because of the way that this technology operates, and because the gap between what the public know and what an individual knows who isn't of a higher status, a millionaire status in these realms, puts these people far beyond the average man. And unfortunately, that's what happens. So in their spaces, they are able to use innovation to lift themselves up, lift others up. They don't go around and try and take from each other and compete with each other, right? But they also, because of the power of this technology, right, is shifting themselves into one area. And that's a theme that is continually growing. What we are doing here is breaking that up apart. So we have got a multi-billionaire here now, right, who is in this technological circle, who is using that technology from a heart-based perspective to give it back, to allow the technology to do what it's supposed to do, right, which is to give back to the people, right? Which is what we're doing. And that's what We Are Satoshi is here to do. And that is what it is all about, right? So it then goes on to say, it's greater than the annual gross domestic product of more than half of the group of 20 economies. It says, behind these divides is a massive governance gap. New technologies are lacking even basic guardrails. It is harder to bring a soft toy than an AI chatbot to market today, because such digital technologies are privately developed. What they are saying is that it fears them because the technology is being privately developed. It is not being developed by the government. This fact needs to be, this education and this knowledge and information needs to be made known to everybody. It is not being created by the government, right? So if it's not being created by the government, that means that you have a chance. And that what you're seeing right now is that chance, one of the manifestation of those chances being given to us. Because I was just speaking to somebody a minute ago, and they were telling me about a 20,000 that they've got coming from something like a property or from something else that they've been doing. And actually they wanted to put it into a property. I'm thinking about going to live in a more rural area outside of the city and so on and so forth. Because of this sustainable development, everything I'm reading to you here is a part of changing your life. That's what I'm reading to you right now. And it's going to happen by 2030 with this sustainable development. Right, this is what this is about. And so I'm able to say to that individual, look, right, okay, fine, everything's working for me, right? What happens is this. That individual can come into We Are Satoshi, right? And they can come in here with that 20,000, right? And they can end up getting that 20,000 here, right? At 2%, right? So when they get that 20,000, when they now get that 20,000 and they get that at 2%, It then means that what happens in actual fact now, they then get $400 per day, right? But 30% of that $400 goes into the vault. The vault is managed by an intermediary third-party auditing block, auditing application, auditing business, auditing firm, whatever you want to call it. It's out of the hands of ourselves at We Are Satoshi. It's public view for everybody to see. It's technology of the future. So that person now makes $280 every single day. Now we can't knock that and say, well, they're doing something dodgy to get that. But no, they're born right to abundance. So that $2,800 that they get, $2,080 per day, is $1,960 per week, right? Which is a lot of money, right? But what actually happens is this: when they then keep putting that money back into the system, the blockchain increases it week by week. So by the time they come into the second month now, it works out around 390. If I was to do it quickly on here, right? What happens is by the time they come to the end of the first month, yeah, they would then be on 377 every single day when they go into month 2. Now that's with 20,000, right, of the money that they've got in that fiat system. It's not going to give you nothing, right? We are at the same time, because you're being shown that the people at the forefront of this society know what's going on, right? So we already knew, we started this campaign before you heard all the noise about Bitcoin. Before that, we're on day 54 now. This noise about Bitcoin and everything only started in the last couple of weeks, since we've already well underway. We are already collectively affecting the world financial stage play. Hard for people to grasp. We're suffering with a lack of self-worth. It's very deep within the psyche. But that is how it is. That's how it is. So this person here now will not only continually get that will rise up until they're getting 2,000 per day. It's only going to take about 9 to 10 weeks for that to happen, because it's in the new world. But this deposit of 20,000 that they put in here is guaranteed, because it's under proof of reserve. Because all of the initial deposits are already accounted for before we even start the blockchain game. So when I go back to here, and it will then say, behind these divides is a massive governance gap. New technologies are lacking even basic guardrails. It is harder to bring a soft toy than an AI chatbot to market today, because such digital technologies are privately developed. Governments are constantly lagging behind in regulating them in the public interest, right? As a result of decades of underinvestment in such states, in investment in state capacities, public institutions, in most countries are ill-equipped to assess and respond to digital challenges. They are talking about the things that we are doing like this right now, right? So it will then go and say, as was observed deliberately during the coronavirus disease, COVID-19 pandemic, the use of digital technologies has brought unparalleled opportunities for how we live, learn, work, and communicate. This blockchain technology was delivered to you when lockdown came. That's when it was delivered. And the governments cannot control any of that because it's outside of their hands, but they can play a massive role and a massive part in it. So just to briefly, just to carry on from there, carry on from that. If I just, we'll look at the Fed now in a minute, but if I just come down to here, you just watch this. Can you see my screen, Aaron? You can see my screen?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so this is from 2020.
Epic geopolitical tensions, the climate crisis, global mistrust, and the downsides of technology can jeopardize every aspect of our shared future. And that is why commemorating the 75th anniversary with nice speeches won't do. We must address these 4 21st century challenges with 4 21st century solutions.
Okay. So when I go back, if I was to go back to the article, the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, because that's what the UN building, it's based upon the Tower of Babel and everything. So what people don't realize is these people are following a script, and they will not deviate from that script. When I say they're following a script, I mean they're following it to a T, to the point where even the bits that they are supposed to fall down at, they will still allow that to happen. Even if it's written in the script that they be set on fire and blah blah blah, then they will do that, and they will follow that script out to a total T, regardless of what anybody thinks, says, or does, because they are highly focused, because they're black magicians. Unfortunately, that's another story. So, like it says here, geopolitical tensions and the climate crisis. These are the 4 apocalypse, right? Global mistrust, and the dark side of technology, right? This is the dark side of technology being birthed and brought about right now. So we have to cherish it. We have to cherish it, because in actual fact, what happens is nobody can own Bitcoin. Nobody can seize it. Nobody can take it away from you, but they can create other systems. So this is the system that's coming now.
The FedNow service will give financial institutions the opportunity to innovate, enabling their customers to send and receive money in seconds, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. How will the FedNow service work? Imagine the owner of a coffee shop is running low on coffee beans and needs to schedule a quick delivery. She places an order, and the coffee bean company sends her a request for payment. She responds to the request for payment and pays for the coffee beans right then and there through an app from her credit union, which uses the FedNow service. Once she initiates the payment, her credit union screens the payment and sends an ISO 20022 compliant payment message, either directly or through a service provider, to the FedNow service over the Federal Reserve's FedLine network. The FedNow service instantly validates the payment message and passes it along to the coffee bean supplier's bank. In real time, the supplier's bank confirms to the FedNow service that it intends to accept the payment, and the FedNow service debits and credits the master accounts of both the shop owners and the coffee bean supplier's financial institutions, or the master accounts of their correspondents. The FedNow service also immediately sends a payment message with an advice of credit to the supplier's bank and notifies the shop owner's credit union that settlement is complete. Finally, the supplier's bank credits the supplier's account in near real time, making the funds available. The supplier's bank will have the option of sending a confirmation to the shop owner's credit union that the payment has been posted to the supplier's account. Get ready for the FedNow service.
So that's coming from the Fed itself, right? Federal Reserve, right? So they're already moving on the system, right? So what the system does, it enables them to be able to move payments, cross-border payments, really quickly, right? So it's going to come with some benefits. Like at the moment, when you use our setups that we're working with, when you use these setups here, it means that when we withdraw, we're able to withdraw within the space of a minute. 10 takes a minute. So we don't realize, because we're not in banking and we're not in payments, the power of what this all means now, right? The speeding up all the cross-border payments, make it much quicker. So it means that the company initially, because they're going to use CBDCs as well anyway, on a wholesale level, right, first. So if you own like a small company, or whatever you own, right, you can get that payment can be settled at night time, right? You can receive it within a second. Usually it might take 5 days or something to go through, or something like that. You receive it in an instant. But it means, because of the blockchain FedNow system that they've got in the middle, means that they can collect all of that data, so they might even know if you're low on stock and if you should actually really be trying to buy something right now. That's the levels that we're talking about, right? So it's the same as creating your internet service provider, becoming attached to a government system to know exactly what you're searching, how you're searching, etc., in order to generate a social score based upon your footprint and your activity, right? So you have to be aware of these things in order to give you the motivation and the drive to do what we are doing here, other than just about making money. This is beyond just making money. Now, you can't attach a FedNow system to blockchain, Bitcoin, because the miners are not going to do it. That's the difference. The miners are dotted all over the world. They are all of the same mindset. They are all, their main interest is Bitcoin. That's the problem. Nobody can control Bitcoin. It's a very surreal, very, very surreal scenario. So now for the first time ever, you've got a lot of these big institutions, etc. The protesting in the street saying, oh yeah, one time we're going to take the government down. But now you're realizing that in actual fact, these financial institutions, they're not going anywhere. And with whatever movement they decide to make, it determines the path of everybody else, unfortunately. Because what's happening is, collectively I'm talking about, people are just spectating. You're not participating. So here with this campaign, you have the opportunity to participate. But this is no scam. This is no the old world business. There's an end date. There's an end date. Yeah, you have 450 days to go. We have a budget. In that budget, many people will become millionaires in that budget. But that budget is diminishing by the day. Right. Will it be expanded? Will it continue? We're going to continue to do this another 97 times after this. But people have to realize we are not in the old world. We are in a totally new world. So that's why these sustainable goals that they're bringing in, which I think I took a picture of, if you can still see my screen here. These are a part of that UN agenda that I just put up on the screen.
No, we can't see your screen.
So let me know. So what I was just reading, the UN Sustainable Development for the Digital Compact, is they want to create it's like smart cities, but they want everybody on their digital system. So these are I think there's probably one missing. These are the sustainable goals and the SDGs or something, right? By 2030 that they want to achieve, right? A lot of it you'll see is the internet of things based on precision, blah, 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 internet availability, right? Digital technology such as 3D print, internet of things. So it keeps saying internet of things, big data, cloud computing, and blockchain can support, but they can only do it by keeping us ignorant of this technology. Sensors and monitoring connected to the internet of things, cloud-based data, blockchain-enabled tracking systems, digital product passports, internet passports is coming. Internet passport is coming. Right? So you want to be able to use the internet, you want to be able to use all of these innovative advanced technologies that are able to do really amazing things, right? To an extent, first of all, you need an internet passport. Internet passport going to come under their jurisdiction, right? But that's if you're using their technology. Because if you go back to what I was reading from in the beginning, it tells you that this technology is not being commanded by government. So we're going into a very exciting place. We're already in it. We're in it. That's why we're doing this. We're outside the jurisdiction of this old system. So in here, people could become millionaires out of very little at all. But it's just, we're just limited by the imagination at the moment. That's how it will be. Okay. So without getting too sinister, yes, it mentions vaccines up there as well. And vaccine technology and all this sort of stuff. Smart vaccine manufacturing. Yeah. Because it's not, right. So this is what's happening, right? Artificial intelligence in crypto they're trying to regulate it because it has the power to remove their control like this. But it can only be done by our ignorance and by our non-participation. Yeah. So we could probably end it on there at that point. Some stuff out. Hopefully next week we're going to be going forward with the Satoshi calls. We're going to have some really, really exciting things happening directly connected to the people that create all of this, even with our calls, because this community is actually we're right up there. We're right up there in the world right now, at the forefront of this technology, blockchain technology, that the government wishes that it could own, but it doesn't. So it's pinch yourself. It's very surreal, but that's the position that we're in.
Thank you, Fabian. Yeah, it's definitely very surreal. And even someone like me, I'm funded, I'm in the company, I'm working with you. I've spoke to Sam Lee. I can see you on the phone to Sherez all the time. Even me, I have to every week on this Wednesday call really stretch my heart, my imagination, my mind, my ears to listen to you so that I can really understand how just trailblazing all of this is, and it can be quite overwhelming because we're not just learning about how we can make our own money. We're also, like you said, we're going to be making millionaires, and this is what we deserve as ordinary people, to have our born right to abundancy. And you're always telling me, brother, that it's only my own limitations that would stop me from achieving this now at this point. It's only my own blocks and my own visions that would stop me from really achieving greatness. It depends how serious you take this. And I'm just not talking about how serious you take this company, but how serious you take the changes that are happening in the world, and because when you realize Babylon are coming closer, you're going to do everything you can to prepare. And that's what we're doing, right? And it's not out of fear or anything. It's knowing that this is the balance. This is as everything falls, there has to be the counterbalance, right? The yin to the yang. And this is what we're experiencing. We're creating that.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what we're doing. And this is why we need to educate as many people as possible on how things actually really do work, because we've been fed. We know that we get fed lies, but people don't really deeply focus on how the level and the intent of how deep something actually really is. When you look at it and go, hang on, I've been lied to about this, I've been lied to about tap water, all these little things. You don't really connect the dots and think, I wonder how actually really deep this is actually really going, because considering it's still actually happening right now. But the brain kind of switches up and thinks, well, I know all of this stuff now. So it's not happening to me no more. But it is.
Or somehow people just believe it's just but it just won't happen to me or something, right? Like you can see it happening in another country, but then again, war's happening all the time, right? And people just kind of just go on with their mundane lives and it's because they don't realize we're all inseparable.
Yeah, there's many factors to it. This is one of them. And because of these psychological defects, unfortunately, we like to sweep things under the carpet, but it's at our own detriment. So right now, we've actually moved into a new space. That's why everything's coming. I don't know how people read the media or read what's going on that the propaganda tool, the internet that you're using right now. But you should be noticing that the news that if you look at it, it's thick and fast, just like a movie. It's coming in like wow, bam, bam, bam. Right, any second now, the next one's going to drop, and that's what's happening. And that's why we're able to bring a technology to you now that's based upon transparency, a level of transparency. But this whole thing we're talking about has been snapshotted up front. All of the funds and everything have been put up front to say, bam, these are the funds that will be paid out to these people. Nobody can stop it. Nobody can stop it, and that's the power of this technology.
It's also the power of, I guess, the age of Aquarius, or the age that we're building, the shift that we're moving into. It has to be transparent, right? Like that, because I heard Sam Lee saying it in a call recently. Everything's just been so corrupt, from governments to politicians to the teachers we trust to the education to the food to the water. Everything's so corrupted that moving forward now, there has to be total transparency. If I've got my money here, you've got this money secure and ready to pay me. This is the kind of level.
It's all deliberate. It's all deliberate. It's the same. It's no different to it's no different to anything else. Just like when you wanted to make a phone call, you just have to go to the phone box, right? And then like a mobile phone call is a solution for that. Yeah, it's just, or when somebody used to go into there used to be a pickpocket, used to go into the shop to steal the stuff. There was no camera. There was no camera up there. Now there's a camera up there. It catches it.
Wow. Yeah.
It's all part of the same evolutionary process. Now you got the technology.
So proof of reserve is just part of the evolution, I guess. Now too much corruption's happened where this has now been birthed.
It has to be, but it's part of cause and effect. It's part of the laws that govern this place, and because we don't know about these laws, we allow these things to take place and not realizing there's going to be a repercussion. The law of consequentialism is a part of that. It's a consequence will just be played out because of it. And then what happens is the reason they want to bring AI and regulate it is because AI is more intelligent than man. I've mentioned this before in my own posts, my own work, that AI will become more intelligent than man really, really quickly. and use its intellect to actually correct the errors that we're making using lower consciousness, because we have the ability for deeply mundane consciousness, almost animal-like, reptilian-like. At the same time, we can go the opposite other way with the polarity. AI will know that, but will see what we're doing and look to correct the defects that we're making. And that scares them, so they want to try and regulate it. Crypto, blockchain just does it anyway. It removes inflation. Blockchain removes the need for a government, for a bank, for any immediate. It removes the need for any governance to control finances and stuff like that. So that's why people need to be educated on all of this. You need to be able to look at this and go, wow, it's here. Not, oh God, it's an investment. Or it's not an investment from the old world. It's not built on house of cards. It's built on transparency, rock solid foundation, unbreakable, unshakable stuff that knows exactly what's going to happen. We know Bitcoin's going to hit 100K. It's formality. If it doesn't make any difference. You still gain 93% on whatever you put in. Plus you make a ridiculous amount of money on the packages at the same time as well, because that's the time that we're in. That's the time that we're in right now. So when Bitcoin does what it's going to do right now, which it is, it's because we're going into a new world. Be on the right side of the fence.
I like what you said there about being on the right side of the fence. I remember one time you saying this is cause and effect. This universe, it's not biased towards anyone. The only people that will survive these kind of judgment days are the people that are courageous enough to go, do you know what? This is so overwhelming, but I know I need to still keep turning up. Like the Michelles, like the Vics, the people that I keep seeing turning up with their notebooks going, do you know, I need to understand this, because if I don't, I know something telling me within I'm going to be trampled on. You know, because it is the digital slavery that we've all, you know, I think people, it's kind of like, it's cognitive dissonance though, isn't it? People don't want to believe that it's happening, but you've literally shown us today documents from the UN where they're telling you, we're going to bend you over and lube you up. Get ready.
Yeah, they're going to use sustainability. The sustainability is going to be the whipping stick. This is going to be all about sustainability or a cyber attack. I mean, just because they're telling you about UFOs doesn't mean you actually have to physically see anything in the sky. They can quite easily say to you that there's something out there that is disrupting the internet, and now we need to a new version of the internet. That isn't just me saying we need to bring in a new. That is based upon documented, real deal stuff, right? They've been telling you for years that they're going to be doing it. I'm just showing you how one of the four horsemen, one of the four horsemen is this technology. Yeah, they fear it. They've come out and said it a million times. Antonio Guterres has said many times in the WEF meetings that they're at the stage where now is ignore the public opinion and just keep moving forward with the agenda.
Wow.
They're already saying that.
Wow.
So that's where we're at. So it's about
this is the front lines, isn't it? This is the action. This is where the action is taken. This is actually how we be a warrior of the light, or whatever the fuck people say in this like truth community. This is actually how we take back our sovereignty.
Action. Yeah, we do it with action.
We do it with action. Yeah.
I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be able to do it while I'm still in my job. Personally, I'm not going to be able.
I think he's frozen. You froze there for a second, bro.
You're back?
Yeah, you're back. You froze for a second. Do you want to end it up? What did you say?
Yeah, we're not going to be able to do it. We're not going to be able to do it whilst we're putting most of our time and effort into that matrix system, whilst we're feeding our focus and our intent upon it, because it's parasiting upon your all, parasiting on your imagination, your sweat equity, everything, even your memory.
Yeah.
So we're using these systems. Everything's predetermined to break free of those old world systems, because the new world is going to look totally different. In this world that you've been in, this old prison, if you don't work, you're walking around like, oh, what should I do? Because you didn't got a job, right?
I know.
That's because analog. That's because it was the analog world. In the new digital world, there'll be things for you to do in that digital world if you can gain access to it. But if you didn't look to create and go and embrace the new, you will have to stay in the upgraded version of the old, right? Which is the system wanting to know exactly what you do. You didn't go to work, so you had to go and sign on. They want to know what you're doing. They only wanted to know. So wanting to know what you're doing just evolves into controlling every single thing that you do. It's just a byproduct of the laws of cause and effect here, because you've allowed it. You allowed it to happen. You knew that was the case. You didn't do anything about it. So now the momentum is with the controller because of it. So do something about it. We have the platform, we have the consciousness, we have the billions, we've got everything here. Let's do it.
Thank you, King. Thank you so much, man. That was a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. Let me just say goodbye to everyone. Brett, I see you. iPhone Zoe, Yvette, Christopher JT, Morgan, beautiful Valentina. So good to see you, sister. Yes. Fucking big warrior here. Michelle, Vic, and Dee. Just thank you, every single one of you. Every single one of you must have something within you, which is a warrior. Yeah, a proper warrior because by doing this, we're standing up to the agenda. But by doing this, we're standing up to Babylon. And also we are going to be the ones to break the patterning of such difficulty that our ancestors have had to go through in order for us to be the people that can do this right here, right now. So big love to the ancestors that are all with us tonight as well, because they struggled and strived so that we could get into this digital world and not to be scared by digital energy, as Fabian said, either be left in the upgraded old world, which is going to be digital anyway, or be in the upgraded new world and be a pioneer and a trailblazer and an empire builder of that world. So yeah, man, whether you spoke to me or whether you spoke to Fabian, just get on board, come chat to us, and I'll upload this as well with a couple presentations underneath. Anything else you want to say before we go, brother?
No, I think that was the wrap for this week. Look forward to next week.
Incredible. All right, man, I love you all. And stay the beautiful, incredible, authentic, vulnerable, strong humans that you are.
I will just say one quick thing. We want as many people to come into this technology so they can experience the liberation and the sense of empowerment and the sense of happiness and orgasmic ecstasy that comes from your money working from abundance being showered at you, showered at you after what you have just been through with that lockdown, and let alone everything else you've been through in this place, right? You deserve it. Just grasp it. We told you, look, you can't lose anything. There's no risk. It's all yours.
Incredible. Thank you so much, brother.
Peace. Let's go.